you have to be persistent. You can't give up on yourself, and you can't um, let the devil win. Honestly, you have to you have to dig deep within yourself and continue to pursue whatever you're pursuing, man. Because it's not easy out here. It's not easy out here, and a lot of people want to be successful. They want to get get the successful things. They want to be a part of the successful club, but you know, and they want to do it wrong. They want to do it through the instant gratification way. They want to do it just believing that things will just fall on their laps, but um, it doesn't work like that, honestly. And we all know it doesn't work like that. Nobody have to come on a live stream and tell anyone that you know things doesn't work like how we all think it works as it relates to being successful and being um, getting ahead and getting what you want and getting what you desire, especially in this time and age right now in 2026, where the economy is going through a very weird transition phase where people don't even understand what's going on as it relates to jobs, as it relates to the direction of the economy and the projection of the economy for the next 25 to 50 years, because no one has a real idea of what AI will do to the economy and how AI will shake up or transition the economy and how we do things and how we consume things and how we live, eat, and relate to each other. Um, yeah, it's a really crazy time, man. But you know, during these times are the toughest. But you have to. I'm just thinking you have to really dig deep down and just get an understanding of what you're dealing with and try to outwit the devil, just like how Napoleon Hill did. You know, sometimes you have to listen to your inner self. You know, that's telling you something. And just go with what your inner self is saying, because sometimes that inner self is really speaking to you, because it's your sixth sense, and it's your sixth sense and can sometimes lead you in the right direction. You know what I mean? Yeah, I mean, as time goes by, it's crazy because a lot of people be saying, "Hey," um, a lot of people be saying like, "Hey, you have to do this, do that, the traditional way, get an education, go to school, um, high school, college, university, and get out." And you're telling me that someone who spent years going to high school, years going to college, get out with lots of student loan debt, but they still can't get a job in this economy and they can't get a desirable job, because I think the traditional way of education and jobs doesn't work anymore. I think the traditional way is really on a path of decline because of the system and how the system is and what the system is actually teaching us. I think you have more people now taking risks than ever before to really get themselves to the next level. And sometimes too, it's who you know and not what you know. You know, there are some nepotism within the system, within the whole economy, where can put you in a position and without you even being fully qualified and fully knowledgeable about what you're doing. So we all have to take all of this in perspective as it relates to what we're doing, as it relates to what we're studying, and the job market, and how things have changed over the years, and continue to change as it relates to AI coming in to dominate a field. Well, not only a field, but to dominate the entire economy and the entire job market, because AI is making things more efficient and productive. But at the same time, you know, we can't predict what really is going to happen with AI and how AI is going to shape the whole system in the years to come. You understand? So I don't know who I'm going. I can tell, but like who anyone who's out there right now who is going through a situation and going through some challenges in life, you have to dig in. You have to stay focused. You have to keep your mind sharp. You know, sometimes people not gonna see things from your way and from your lens. Sometimes people gonna see things their way and do things their way, and people gonna just be themselves. You know what I mean? But you can't panic over that, and you can't let anyone, the way how anyone think of you or see you, make you give up on yourself. So the goal is to always pursue self-development, pursue knowledge, pursue information. The great Frederick Douglass said that um, information is the key, because when you have the right information, what he said, information changes your conversation, and your conversation changes the way how you're compensated. So the great Frederick Douglass is a quote from the great Frederick Douglass. He said, and everyone's supposed to know who Frederick Douglass is. He said, information changes your conversation, and your conversation changes your compensation. Simply put, it means that the information you have, it's valuable, and you're gonna have to act on the information by talking about it or executing or whatever it is, and that changes your conversation you're having with people who have the same information or have related information or have bits of information you can join with your information to really get you compensated in a way. So at times we as people just attract the wrong thing in our lives sometimes, attract the wrong people, attract the wrong energy, and having people around having people around us who really can't do anything to really help us. It's like a blind leading a blind. You know what I mean? So sometimes it's our circle is the problem. You have to change your circle. You have to find a circle of people who are moving the same direction as you are in order to really capitalize and growth and capitalize and becoming something good of yourself. You know what I mean? So that's how it is in the world today. Information, the conversation, and your compensation, honestly. And I've been reading a lot of books. Well, audiobooks. I've been listening to a lot of audiobooks, honestly. And from the great Napoleon Hill, uh, Marcus Aurelius. Yeah, Marcus Aurelius. Even Tony Robbins. You know, these people have one thing in common. And one thing they have in common is they're they are self-disciplined, and they self-persevere, and and they attract other people with common knowledge and common ideas and common discipline in their life. And and they most of them really started from nothing and actually make their way to be something. But it takes a lot of time, energy. It takes the right people to be around you, or the right enforcement who's going to encourage you, who's not going to just walk out on you or turn their back on you when in the point, or whatever it is, but they're going to stick by and just weather the storm and push you through whatever It is, and like, yeah, one hand washes the other. Like, yo, it's crazy out here in this economy today. So if you have a goal, if you have a dream or whatever it is, as I said earlier, which not just me saying it, but it has been very apparent, and a lot of people identify. When I say a lot of people, I say a lot of scholars identify that the traditional path of um, school, high school, college, education, jobs doesn't work anymore. So a lot of people now are taking a risk, just going, starting a business, just take risk, and that's what it is right now. That's the game plan right now. Got to take some risk. I mean, an educated risk. Anyways, you can't just go jump and do something that you really have no idea what you're doing. But the thing is, like, if you have a dream, have a desire, have something that you really want to do, have something that you can do and you know how to do, I would definitely tell anyone and anybody just to go ahead and just dive in. Like, um, Joyce Forbes, you know, one of the greatest saleswomen out there, have a great story where she shared that is it Joyce Forbes? I think her name is. Yeah, where she shared 1 second, guys. Let me see. Where she shared that yo, hitting rock bottom. Sometimes people do that. It happens. It is common for anyone to really hit a point where you think that, shoot, things ain't working out. You down low, and you hit rock bottom, but you have to bounce back from that. And you have two choices. It's either you're gonna sit there and get comfortable, or you're gonna get your ass up and bounce back from that and get back to the top, and use that as a and just leapfrog from that point and get back to where you were, or even surpass where you were. But she has a great story and how she lost. Um, she had a kid that she adopted, I think, and she grew the kid up, and the kid ended up getting hurt or die because of violence or whatever it is, and it really hurt. It really hurt her, and she was down for years, and you know, and she really just find it back to bounce back, and like a lot of you know entrepreneurial stories too I've been listening to, and understanding how some of these people just are so resilient in themselves, and they find resilience and strength just to keep push on regardless of whatever happened, regardless of the impact on their life, regardless of what they're facing, you know. But the truth is that find you have to find some inner strength, man, to really get yourself to where you want to go. You know what I mean? Like some of the times we're faced with some life issues, and it's not even so serious, you know? But well, I'm not gonna say it's not even so serious because everything is serious to everybody. Like, who am I to say that? But some other times you face with um, some issues, and it just makes you think or do some irrational things, and just you know think it's the end of the world, which is not the end of the world. Because one thing I can say about, you know, the United States, this country, is that the United States give and it takes opportunities away, and nothing is luck. There's no such thing as luck, to be honest with you. I think that if you prepare yourself and be in the preparation phase, then at some point in time you're gonna run into an opportunity and you're prepared for the opportunity. And because a lot of the times we can't explain that. That's what we call luck. But life is all about preparing. Life is all about thinking 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 6 7 8 9 10 steps ahead. You always have to be in a preparation mood. Always have to have a plan. Always have to be thinking, talking to yourself about the what ifs. That's what I think life is about, and not just me too. The great Marcus Aurelius, that's what he talks about. In his book Meditation. You have to stop thinking about what a great man is and just be one. Money will take you to extravagant and take you all over the world, all different places, but you know, all different destinations. Money will take you all over the place, but money won't replace you as a driver. It's just a tool used to take you all over the place. Endless amount of places, but money can never replace you as the driver in the driver's seat, leading and steering yourself. The money is just a tool, and I find it that a lot of people just, um, because I've been reading and watching and different stories and people talking about the economy right now and how it is hard, which is true. Ain't gonna dispute that, but uh, people they're the same ones you see when they get a little money or whatever it is. um, they don't tend to 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 use it efficiently and effectively as it relates to invest in yourself, self-development, self-taught, self-knowledge, be a part of the economy, um, eat and own what you use and own what you eat. And you could do that in a lot of ways within the economy. Uh, some people think that you're gonna grow your way or work your way out to be financially well off, or you're gonna work your way to be financially well off, but that's not the thing. And I'm talking from a point of view of what I read and what the experts are saying who got to that point and who are um, going through the day-to-day ways and activities and day-to-day tasks of maintaining and balancing out life with doing well by helping people doing good, and owning a part of the great American economy. And our ownership, especially for Black people, um, our ownership within this economy is little to none, honestly. And we tend to we tend to place the blame on others most of the times, instead of taking accountability. To be frank, um, our accountability um, structure is damaged to the point where it is easier to point the finger at someone else instead of saying, "Hey, I did, I can do this, and I did this wrong, and I messed up." It's unreal, and we see it in all walks of life. You see, you know, we're just accustomed to doing that, you know. But it is what it is, and it is it's not so good because if you don't take accountability for what you're doing, or accountability for your life, or accountability for what you know, you will never realize when you make a wrong move, and you will never realize uh, how to self correct, or how to self, you know, how to rechart the course. Um, yeah, so um, yeah, that's just one of the things that that's just one of the things where people just don't understand, and you know, um, that's just one of the things where people don't understand, and because we're so busy every day just going through the just the regular, just no sense of direction, no sense of purpose. We don't see all of that stuff, you know. We don't stop to think before we act. We don't stop to think before we talk. we just we're just pedaling, you know. But yeah, that's just one of the things, man. Like, I'm learning that, and because we're pedaling, we're not gonna get the result we're looking for, and then after which we just messed up and start blaming, and then we start giving up on our goals and dreams and stuff like that. So, but you can't give up, man. You can't give up. You know, I know a lot of people out there going through things right now, or going through a rough time, like, you know. But the goal is use these times to, one, build up your resilience, and two, use these times to to take stock and just to make a mental note of how people, and how the people you call friends, or how the people you call family really treat you during the times when you're not so strong. These are the times you're gonna take note of, and these are the times you're gonna uh, you know, remember. So when you bounce back from the bottom, when you bounce back to the top, you know, you know actually who to actually what you call who to actually be around, because as what Frederick Douglass said, information, the conversation, the compensation, and the group, or the environment you're around. If you're around the wrong environment, you're not gonna get the information you're looking for to grow. And then, you know, you leverage that information and have the right conversations that you need to have. And that from those conversations, you're not gonna get any type of compensation. So, you know, I think life is all about leveraging information, conversation, and taking risks. And it's just it's just it's just what it is as it relates to um to self development, self growth, self discipline. You know, um, wow, the market is off. The economy is messed up. We all know that. But what are we gonna do? You're just gonna sit back and keep saying the economy is messed up every day. Every day we get up, we're gonna say the economy is messed up. The economy is messed up. Food is expensive. Gas price is expensive. We're gonna complain about um, housing is expensive, cars expensive, rent is expensive, mortgage is expensive. You know, if we get up, I guarantee you, if you get up every day and complain about that, complain about that, complain about that, complain about that, then I believe that complaining ain't finding a solution to the problem.